progress.
Good morning, everyone. Freilichen Chanukah. We're continuing in Berura Daf Hashavua, Siman Kuf Yudalid 114, Sif Dalid. We're learning the laws of Amiras, Mashav Haruach, Morid HaGushem. The Mechaber said if you said Morid HaGushem b'yamos hachama during the summer, you go back, and you go back to the beginning of the bracha. So if you go back to the beginning of the bracha. Interestingly, even if you remembered, Toich Kedei Dibor. So in other words, think about what the guy did. He said, Mashruch Morid HaGushem in the summer. Let's say you remember Toich Kedei Dibor, so we mentioned Rav Shlomo Zalman, and the Shevet HaLevi says, there's no way to go back. There's no way to be masakin it. So you said, so what do? Only if you said Talumata Levracha b'yamos hachama, so you could Toich Kedei Dibor change it. Meaning you go back and you say, Baruch Aleinu Hashem, instead of the same Talumata Levracha, you say the same bracha. But once you say Mashruch Morid HaGushem, you're done. There's no way to fix it. Rabbi Yashiv says you could fix it. Again, he said the way you fix it is you say Morid Hatal. If for Bnei Ashkenaz and Chutzars that don't say Morid Hatal, so you'd go back and you would say Mechalkel Chaim Mechesed. You would say Rav Hoshia Mechalkel Chaim Mechesed. Okay. If you already finished the bracha, you have to go back to the beginning of Shemana Esrei. If it's in a place that you need rain in the summer, if you remembered Geshem instead of Tal, you have to go back. Says the Mishna Berura, b'makayim v'afilim haya kol oisa hamadina mispalim u'misanim al HaGushamim v'ayim b'arbei halacha. Meaning, even if it's in a place that you need rain in the summer, and you said Geshem, even if everybody is fasting and davening for rain, nevertheless you're now to say Mashruch Morid HaGushem. Okay. V'chein im hisker Geshem v'tal nami machzir noisai. So again, what's this guy doing? If you mention Geshem instead of Tal, you go back. Or if you mention Geshem and Tal, says Mishna Berura b'makom Tal Ratzol Lefi Minhag Sfarad Sha'omer b'yamos hachama u'Morid Hatal Amar Ze Geshem b'makom Tal Machzir Noisai v'Avdil Inyan She'ila Pasak Lekaman b'Siman Kuf Yud Zayin Sif Beis Dim Sha'al b'Oifen Zeh Matar b'Berachas Hashan b'yamos hachama Ein Machzir Noisai. We're going to learn that if the world needs rain and you ask for rain in Baruch Aleinu during the summer, then you don't go back. So why here, if you mention Hashem's ability to make it rain, do you go back? Shani Haskara, mentioning is different. Deshevachu, mentioning is a praise. Ve'ein derech lahaskar shevach b'davar shu klal b'shar mekoymes. If you need something, you could ask for it. But to praise, you don't praise unless everybody needs it. You can't praise just because you need it. Okay. So you're probably wondering, when are we going to do a Rabbi Eiger today? Hold your horses, okay? Relax. Fine. Sif Hey. B'yamos HaGushamim. In the rainy season. Im loy amar Morid HaGushem machzir noisai. In the rainy season, let's say right now, you daven Shemana Esrei, and you daven Ala Nisim, and you said V'mei Matis Yo Ben Yochanan Kohen Gadol, and you said V'sein Talmud Avracha, but you forgot Mashruch Morid HaGushem, you got to go back. V'hani mili shaloi hisker tal. That's only if you daven Ashkenaz and you didn't mention Tal of him. Hisker Tal in Machzir Noisai. If you mention Tal, you don't have to go back. Comes Rabbi Eiger and he has a Chiddush Ayoy Menorah. Says Rabbi Eiger, if you forget Mashruch Morid HaGushem Friday night, you do not go back. What? Why not? Because in Bracha Achas Me'ein Sheva, there's no mention of Geshem. So it must be for Friday nights, it's not Ma'akev. The Pella. It's a Pella. Says Rabbi Akiva Eiger, Friday night, Mashrach Maragashim is not Ma'akiv. Look in the Berura, Machzir Noisa, I'm Mechadish Rabbi Akiva Eiger, the Mitzadei Loimer, the Belel Shabbos, Mshachach Loimer Mashav Arach, Ein Machzirin. We know if you were to say bracha achas mein sheva, you would be yotzi b'diavad. After shamlo hisker geshem, v'tzarchian. Wow, what a chiddush! Why in the world would Mashrach Maragashan? What about Shabbos morning if you forget? Shabbos morning if you forget, you do have to go back. That's because Shabbos morning, they were never masakin bracha achas mein sheva. But Friday night, were they masakin bracha achas mein sheva, and that takana did not include Mashrach Maragashem. So obviously Mashrach Maragashem is not integral Friday night. Now why in the world would Friday night be any different than Shabbos day? Why would Mashrach Maragashem be more or less integral? So the Achronim say, the Marsham in Das Torah says, that the whole psak of Rabbi Akiva Eiger is only going according to the Magen Avram. That a yachid that says me'in sheva b'makom shmonesa yotze b'di'eved, but according to the El Yarabba, brought in the Mishnah Berura later on, that you're not yotze. You'd only be yotze if you hear it from the shots, or you said it with him. So the chayra, even if you didn't say Morid HaGushem, you would not be yotze. I don't understand the Marsham. But you could be yotze with the shots. Or you could say it with him. And when you are, you're not saying Mashrach HaGushem. Comes Rabbi Yashiv. Rabbi Yashiv says what Rabbi Akiva Eiger means is he's just trying to prove the fact that you could listen to Me'ein Sheva, this is what I was saying, and be yotze, that shows that Hazkar Hasgeshem is not Ma'akev. The only reason Rabbi Akiva Eiger quoted the Magen Avram is because according to the Magen Avram, you could even say it yourself. But still, why would that be? Why would Friday night, why did they not make Mashrach Maragashem part of Bracha Achas Me'ein Sheva? We don't want it to rain Friday night. Don't we want it to rain Friday night? Isn't it Gishmei Bracha Friday night? Nobody's on the street.
We're not asking for rain. You had to change the nusach from you make Geshamim in summer and winter. You have to change the nusach then.
We do. Let's say Aser Simei Tshuva. We change. We don't have a problem changing the nusach. Yeah. Let's say, what do we say in Magen Avos Bidvarai Mechaye Mesim B'Ma'amarai? By the way, once we're on the topic, I had the zchus to visit Reb David Kohen, the Rosh Yeshiva of Chevron, many years ago, a number of years ago, and he told us the following Dvar Torah. He said, what's pshat? Magen Avos is Bidvarai, and Mechaye Mesim is B'Ma'amarai. So he stellt zu a Ramban and a Rabbeinu Bechaye. Vayidaber Hashem al Moshe Lemar. Dibur is Torah shebechsav. Amira is Torah shebal peh. Magen avos bidvarai. Anoichi magen lach. It says it in the Chumash. So it's Dibur, Torah shebechsav. Tchias hamesim, it doesn't say. It's Torah shebal peh. So therefore it's Magen Avos Bidvarai Mechaye Mesim B'Ma'amarai. Anyway, but there's no mention of rain. Unless the word She'ein Kamoyu. She'ein Kamoyu. It's one of the three keys that Hashem has so retention of. So it's like Miram, I don't know. But that's Rabbi Akiva Eiger. Rabbi Akiva Eiger says Friday night you would not have to say. By the way, I would still say that just because Chazal say but b'di'evet you're yotze if you say bracha achas mein shava, that was the matbeya that the Chachamim were masakein, and you're yotze with it b'di'evet. But when you try to use the matbeya of the regular Shemana Esrei, of which Mashrach Maragashem is an integral part of, maybe you wouldn't be yotze. Maybe that's why it's a tzarchiyun. But anyway, it's interesting. Rabbi Akiva Eiger l'kavet Chanukah. Because the Yevanim did not want us to learn that, Rabbi Akiva Eiger. Okay, Sif Katan. We did Hey. Sif Katan Chavches HaGushem. B'yimais HaGushem, afilu b'tefila rishayna, even the first tefillah. If you miss Mashon Maggid Harakiah, b'musaf shel Yom Tov Achron shel Pesach, the musaf of the last day of Pesach, L'didan dinagin lahachar is Mashon Maggid Harakiah koidem musaf. For us, that we announce Mashon Maggid Harakiah before Musaf. I'm sorry, Achron shel Chag, Musaf on the last day of Sukkot. If you don't say it, you got to go back. HaGushem, afilu im amar Mashon Ruach. If you don't say Morid HaGushem, you got to go back. What if you said Mashon Morid Hasholeg? It's not right to do that. How can you do such a thing? By the way, the Taz says the reason why you have to go back if you say Mashon Morid HaGushem in the summer is because Hashem's going to make it rain. So you have to go back to retract it. Hashem's going to make it rain because of one guy who was palat milim mipiv. He had no intention, he wasn't thinking about what he's saying, he's going to make it rain. Yeah, that's the koyach hatfila. You have a guy, his mind is in outer space, he accidentally said the words Mashon Maggid Harakiah, the whole ecosystem will change because of him. His ger tal, but that's as long as you didn't mention tal. Even if you just said Morid hatal, the tamay the afagav dolay netzer, even though dew is never withheld, it's a praise to Hashem when you mention it. So therefore, in his ger tal, you don't go back. But by asking the tzarch lishal al davar hanetzar, where you have to request something that's withheld, loy mahani im loy shal matar. It's not going to help if you didn't ask for rain. Av sheshal tal, even though you asked for dew. Ukil kaman b'simin kuf yud zayin siv dalad. Okay, a bissel weiter. B'amedvar ma'amurim, says the Machar ben Sevav, shemachzirun, I said, when do you have to go back? Kishaloi amar b'yimais HaGushem Morid HaGushem. When do you have to go back in the winter if you don't say Morid HaGushem? Hanu kishasiyem kol habracha. That's if you finish the whole bracha, v'hiskal bracha shachre, and you began the next bracha. V'oz choyzer l'rosh hatfil, that then you have to go back to the beginning of the davening. Avlam nizkar kodim shasim bracha. But if you remembered before you finished the bracha, yoymar b'makom shenizkar, you say it wherever you're up to. It says the Mishna Berura v'hiskal, and you began the next bracha. That implies afilu tevas ata levad. Just the word ata, that's considered starting. Not like the Pri Megadim, the Dirshu says, that it's not considered starting until you said Hashem's name. Vu adinim hischel loymar nekadesh. Because we're going to see if you remembered before Ata Kadosh, you could just stick in Mashon Maggid Harakiah in the place. The rabbis did not designate a specific spot in the bracha. Ela amru stam. They just said in general, maskirin gevuras geshamim b'tchias hamesim. Rak shenoagu loymar. The minhag is to say lefnei mechalkel shehu parnasa. Before you say mechalkel chayim b'chesed, you say rain. Ugeshamim gam kein parnasa. Hilkach be'ezem magam shiuskar sagi. Wherever you remember, it's enough. Upashat dim nizkar la'achar she'amar. It's pasha that if you remembered after you said v'ne'eman ata lahachayos mesim, and then you say, oh, I didn't say Mashon Maggid Harakiah, then the tzarch lachsa v'lam, you have to go back and say again v'ne'eman ata lahachayos mesim. Tebe'inon me'ein chasima samach l'chasima. You need similar to the end, close to the end. So you need to say v'ne'eman ata lahachayos mesim, close to the chasima. That's the klal of Me'ein chasima samach l'chasima. By the way, there's another klal, Me'ein pesicha b'chasima, upon which we have a shir on Friday about the parsha. Okay, Rabbi said we'll hold it over here. Afreil Chen Chanukah. We'll see everybody. What's today? Thursday? We'll see everyone Bez Hashem Monday. Okay? Next week, Wednesday again is a legal holiday, so my Shiurim schedule is different, so we're not going to have Wednesday, okay? Next week, January 1st. Have a good day, everyone. Kol Tov. Frei Lechem.